This is Kurt Wilhelm, the co-host actually, of Ageless Living here on Voice America and World Talk Radio, and we are joined today by both a guest and Dr. Lee, the host of the show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lee. I am the owner of Arizona Laser and Skin. I'm the host of the Ageless Living too.
And we want to share a little bit of the background of Dr. Lee. She has both a license to practice medicine in China as well as the United States, and she's an anesthesiologist here and co-owner, as she just mentioned, of Arizona Laser and Skin, which can be reached at azmdlaser.com. And this segment, we are going to be talking a little bit about diagnosis. No, I don't. That's a bad word to use. Diagnosis in holistic medicine. It's a matter of surveying and finding out what your body needs. So we are joined today by Dr. Don Rey, who is the creator of Vitanya. If you want to go to vitanya.com, where you are able to find out what the needs of your body are for body needs assessments. But Dr. Rey, welcome to the show. You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about Vitanya, and in fact, if you don't mind me providing a little bit of a lead-in, Dr. Lee and I represent, I wouldn't say opposite ends of the spectrum, but different ends of the spectrum, where I'm a person who doesn't mind supplementation, but I know the dangers of taking too many vitamins if I don't need them. Too much vitamin E can start building in your system, too much vitamin A potentially. The point is if you over supplement, it might not be a good thing. If you don't have enough supplements, it might not be a good thing. So we wanted to bring Dr. Rey in on the show to be able to help anybody who might be wondering if their needs are too much or too little in a particular area. So Dr. Rey, tell us a little bit about Vitanya and what you would do for potential patients that come in, and how you're unique and different in your analysis process.
Well, thank you. This is exactly why Vitanya was created.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to find the simplest, most cost-effective, the least amount of pills, the least amount of this. Actually, I wanted to turn this job back to your own immune system, and by doing that, you become so well that you can't be sick. And with that premise in mind, it led me down this pathway where I have put together what I think is a very good plan for someone who wants to stay well with a very goal-oriented approach. They can find out through our procedure, which we call biomapping. It's a frequency reading machine, and it helps us actually helps us define areas of concern. Not that we're treating symptoms, but we're trying to change your body's ability to stay well. And by doing this, we activate your immune system, we activate your resistance level, we raise both, we make you stronger, faster, better kind of things, and we stay exactly opposite from the drug, surgery, medical type allopathic approach. By doing that, we actually try to engage your God-given, if you will, right to be well. And it doesn't mean that it requires, it's a system very different than the allopathic model where you treat symptoms. Now, you just mentioned treating symptoms with supplementation and possibly too much supplementation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in total agreement that if you're treating symptoms, it doesn't matter if you're using supplements, herbs, or drugs, you have an inherent problem because you're treating something that is the result of an immune system breakdown. You are not treating the imbalance or the cause of the whole problem. So your imbalance over time that created your symptoms, and you're treating symptoms with an allopathic type protocol, you are not going to get well. Like if you actually go back and engage your immune system as the precursor to all your symptoms, you can actually become well. So well that you're no longer sick, do not need intervention, and therefore you're just like you should be, no pain, everything functioning correctly, and it doesn't, and it's and it's regardless of your age.
Go ahead, Dr. Ray.
Absolutely, Dr. Ray. I totally agree with you. The body is made to function well if it was given the right nutrients. But the question I have is, how does the device work? How does it detect how does the biomapping works?
Okay, the biomapping is works like a polygraph. It has a hand cradle. You put your hand on it. It reads your galvanic skin response, which is the sweat on your hand. And so it's not blood, and it's not saliva, and it's not urine. It's actually similar to a polygraph. And so that's the reading it takes. Anything in your body, every single cell, every single organ has a healthy biorhythm. If that healthy biorhythm is not detected, some other frequency is detected, this equipment will map it out and show you where the imbalances are. And so if I was reading, say, for instance, the heart type things, well, it would read whether or not there was a healthy biorhythm or not. It doesn't diagnose an issue, it says where the imbalances are. And so by changing imbalances using very basic frequency technology, you send a signal to your immune system, and in effect, you're rebooting your brain, because your immune system, any chronic problem over time has become chronic because your immune system is no longer trying to fix it. That's almost the definition of what chronic is. Your immune system no longer tries to fix it. But if you resend those correct frequencies to your brain says, oh, I remember this. I remember how to stay well. And it will attempt to match that. Once it starts matching that, it will begin to fix the things that it has ignored up to that point.
So you're saying the device not only gives the readings, it also has a therapeutic?
Yes. It allows us a direction, a goal-oriented way to wake up your immune system so that it fights for you rather than just being there for the ride.
So how is it used? Do you just put your hand on it every day?
There's a hand cradle that for the initial reading. That's where you stick your hand on it, and it actually sends frequencies towards your body, and then it reads the frequencies coming off of your body. And if they match up or don't match up, it'll show you in a graph that imbalance. So sending the correct frequency and receiving what your body is, which may be incorrect in certain areas, you get a biomap of what you need to change. And so you don't get things sneaking up on you. You say you feel well, you want to remain feeling well. This is how you do that. And then it has what we call the tower. It has a frequency generator that allows us to send the frequency or send the frequencies into a carrier set of drops where the person takes home and puts underneath their tongue to repeat the frequency over and over again until their body matches up. And the results are amazing. The results are start immediately because you're working with electricity rather than chemicals, which you have to go through the digestive tract for anything that you swallow. And this goes straight into you because it's just pure energy. And so it's pretty, in all my years, this is the most amazing thing I've ever done as far as trying to find a simple, easy way to stay well. If it's simple and cost effective, you can do it for a long time. If it's not, pretty soon you quit.
So this drop, is it a supplement? Is it some kind of energy?
Well, I use a homeopathic lymph drainage drop as a base. I just add other frequencies to it with my frequency generator that we do with the biomapping.
I see. So do you need to purchase this equipment to use it at home, or you just come to your office for treatment?
Yeah, our Vitanya is actually a franchise. franchise. We have, it's a franchise business. Equipment comes, it's unique to us. The technology is not unique to us, but the direction and how we're using it and some of the programming is unique to Vitanya.
Now, am I understanding that this could help overcome allergies and things of this nature as well?
Allergies is one of the easiest ones because allergies is an over hyperactive immune system,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exactly what we're dealing with. So by sending frequency at the person regarding weeds, grasses, trees, shrubs, foods, stuff like that, and measuring the response back, you can tell very easy where the imbalances are, which is what the person happens to be allergic to. And by changing the frequency, you can actually make the person not reactive. So again, you aren't treating their allergies, you're making their immune system not react to a false poison. The allergy is actually your body thinking that something's a poison and it really isn't.
You know, I'm going to have to double check on what I'm about to share, but I'm about 90% confident that what I'm about to share is actually matching. I'm actually putting two and two together and recognizing that I have a very dear friend who has a son who he was so, his allergies were so bad that when one time when his son was 2.5 years old, he actually had had some coffee with some creamer in it, and he leaned over to kiss his son's back while he was changing his diaper, and he broke out in hives. He was so allergic to milk. And he actually told me about this amazing place that he took his son to that was able to reprogram these frequencies, and I just have a feeling it's your location. I'm gonna do a double check on that for our listeners. So and if anybody else wants to do a double check, you can go to Vitanya, Batanya.com, where you can check into biomapping, or you can call 480-696-3800, or you can actually go by their main office at 8010 East McDowell Road, Suite 100, there in South Scottsdale, if you need help mapping it with a zip code 85257. Later on, if our listeners want to stay tuned, I'll actually do a follow-up and make sure that this is actually the same place that this son, my friend's son, had a great experience. But definitely, these are the types of things that are amazing. The other thing I wanted to share, and then we need to go to break, is that I really, really dearly wish that I had been able to introduce you, Dr. Rey, to my late mother. She actually passed on about 5 years ago, and she actually had organ failure, and we all believe it's because she overdiagnosed herself, didn't go to holistic practitioners, didn't go to doctors, but just did a lot of home remedies without checking with the care of a doctor. That's why we always mention on the show, make sure that you have you're under the care of a physician, but then start trying the home remedies, so if she would have been able to know which things she was taking too much of into her system, I think the world would be a different place, because my mother was one of the most, no offense to anybody else's mother, but I think the best mother that ever lived. So again, thank you, Dr. Rey, for tuning in on the show. If we may do some follow-up later, and we'll appreciate you checking in with us.
Thank you, Dr. Rey.
And thanks to all of our listeners who tuned into the show. This is Kurt Wilhelm, the co-host of Ageless Living here on Voice America World Talk Radio. And
This is Dr. Lee. We'll see you back in just in a few minutes.
you betcha.